There's a man you could become, a man who walks into any room with a quiet, unshakable confidence. The kind of man whose presence demands respect, not through words, not through force, but through an undeniable energy. A man who is immune to disrespect because he's mastered himself. But here's the reality. Most men don't feel this way. Most men are blindsided by disrespect, especially when it comes from women. Think about it. How many times have you felt that sharp sting? Maybe it was a dismissive look, a sarcastic comment, or even outright contempt. You felt it deep, like a blow to your pride. Maybe you tried to respond, maybe you tried to shrug it off, but the damage was done. It left you questioning yourself, your worth, your position in her eyes. Sound familiar? You're not alone. But I'm here to tell you something that will change everything. The way you handle disrespect determines the kind of man you are, and the kind of man you'll become. Let me ask you this. Are you going to let someone else's opinion define you? Or will you learn to rise above it, to become the man who commands respect without ever having to ask for it? Welcome to Stoic Blessing, the place where ancient wisdom meets modern strength. Today, we're diving into one of the most important lessons you'll ever learn, how to handle women who disrespect you. And not just with temporary tricks or clever comebacks, but with a mindset so powerful that it redefines how you see yourself and how the world sees you. This isn't about playing games or getting revenge. It's about control. Control of your emotions, control of your actions, and ultimately, control of your reality. We're going to explore timeless principles from Stoicism, the art of mastering your mind, and the sharp strategies of dark psychology to show you how to turn disrespect into an opportunity for power and growth. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to walk into any situation with absolute confidence. You'll understand how to respond when a woman tests you, undermines you, or tries to push your boundaries, not with anger, not with desperation, but with calm, calculated composure. You'll learn how to carry yourself in a way that makes disrespect nearly impossible and, more importantly, irrelevant to the man you are becoming. But let me warn you, this journey isn't for everyone. It takes discipline, self-awareness, and the courage to break free from the need for external validation. If you're ready for that, I want you to commit right now. Drop a comment below with the phrase, "I am unshakable." Let that phrase be a declaration of the man you're building. And while you're here, hit the like button. Let's remind the world that men of true strength and composure still exist. Now picture this. A woman tries to test your patience, throws a challenge your way. But instead of reacting emotionally or scrambling to prove yourself, you stay calm. You meet her eyes, unbothered, and maybe even smile, because you know something she doesn't. You've mastered yourself. You've mastered the game. This is where your journey begins. And the first step to mastering yourself is understanding why disrespect happens in the first place, what drives it, and why it's not about you. Let's get started. Disrespect doesn't come out of nowhere. It's not random, and it's rarely personal. To handle it like a Stoic, you need to understand its roots. So, let's strip it down to the basics. Why do women, or anyone for that matter, show disrespect? The answer lies in psychology and power dynamics. At its core, disrespect is a test. It's often subconscious, a way for someone to gauge your confidence, your boundaries, and your sense of self-worth. When a woman disrespects you, she's not always trying to hurt you. Sometimes she's testing whether you're the man who stays calm under pressure or the man who crumbles at the first sign of a challenge. This is where most men fail. They take it personally, react emotionally, and in doing so, reveal their insecurities. Think of disrespect like a mirror. It reflects what's inside you. If you're insecure, it will bring that out. If you're composed, it will bounce off you like water off stone. This is why the first step to handling disrespect is understanding that it's not about her, it's about you. Now let's go deeper. Sometimes disrespect isn't a test, it's a projection. People project their insecurities and frustrations onto others. A woman who disrespects you may be dealing with her own issues, self-doubt, past traumas, or even frustration with her own life. When you understand this, you stop taking it personally. You realize that her disrespect is a reflection of her, not you. And this realization is a superpower. But here's the twist. Disrespect can also be a power move. It's a way for someone to try and shift the balance of control. If she can make you lose your cool, she wins. If she can make you doubt yourself, she takes the upper hand. That's the game, and the only way to win this game is to refuse to play. Stay calm, stay composed. Let her words or actions hang in the air while you remain unmoved. In that moment, you show her and yourself that you're the one in control. Now, let me ask you, have you ever had someone disrespect you, and instead of reacting, you stayed calm and watched as they became uncomfortable? That's the power of composure. That's the power of understanding that disrespect says more about the other person than it ever will about you. Here's a quick exercise. The next time someone disrespects you, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what does this say about them? What does this reveal about me? This simple pause is often enough to break the cycle of reaction. And if this principle resonates with you, I want you to write, "I control my reality" in the comments. Let it be a reminder that you're the one in charge of how you respond, no matter what's thrown your way. Indifference. It's one of the most underrated yet most powerful tools in your arsenal. Imagine this. A woman throws a sharp comment your way, maybe even mocks you in front of others. What's your first instinct? For most men, it's to react, to defend themselves, to explain, or to fire back. But here's the truth. Every time you react, you hand over your power. And a man who gives away his power loses respect, not just from others, but from himself. Indifference is the ultimate Stoic response. It's the ability to look at disrespect, acknowledge it for what it is, and refuse to let it disturb your inner peace. To the Stoics, this was a cornerstone of their philosophy. Marcus Aurelius himself said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you practice indifference, you're telling the world, "I am in control, not you." But let's talk about the psychology of why indifference is so powerful. When a woman disrespects you, she's often looking for a reaction. Whether it's anger, frustration, or hurt, any emotional response you give her feeds her sense of control. But when you respond with calm indifference, when her words or actions bounce off you like they don't matter, it leaves her disarmed. She starts to question herself. Why isn't this working? Why isn't he reacting? Suddenly, the power dynamic shifts, and you're the one in control. Now, let's make this practical. Indifference isn't about ignoring disrespect or pretending it didn't happen. It's about choosing not to give it emotional weight. If someone insults you, you don't have to laugh or play it off. You simply let it hang in the air without reacting. A subtle smirk, a slight nod, or even a neutral, "That's interesting," is often enough to neutralize the situation. Your lack of reaction speaks volumes. It says, "I don't need to prove anything to you." Here's an example. Imagine you're out with friends, and a woman makes a sarcastic comment about your job or appearance. Most men would jump to defend themselves, but the man of indifference would simply pause, meet her eyes and say, "Noted." That's it. No explanation, no emotion, just calm acknowledgement. In that moment, you're showing her that her words have no power over you. And trust me, that's far more impactful than any clever comeback. Indifference also protects your peace of mind. Think about it. Why waste your energy on someone who's trying to undermine you? Your energy is sacred, and it should only be spent on things that matter. When you master indifference, you conserve your strength for battles worth fighting, and disrespectful comments, they're never worth fighting over. If this resonates with you, let's make it personal. Drop a comment below with the phrase, "I am untouchable," Let that be your declaration of the power you're building within yourself. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. Silence, calm, deliberate, unshaken, can speak louder than words ever could. It's not just the absence of sound, it's the presence of control. When you master the art of silence, you become a man who doesn't just react, you dictate the tempo of every interaction. Let's break it down. Why is silence so powerful? For one, it creates discomfort. Humans are wired to fill silence with noise, to seek resolution. When a woman disrespects you, she often expects a reaction, something she can push against or manipulate. But when you meet her disrespect with silence, you create a void she doesn't know how to handle. In that void, her words lose power, and she's left questioning herself. Did I go too far? Why isn't he reacting? Silence is also a signal of confidence. It tells the world that you don't need to justify yourself or defend your position. Weak men scramble to explain, to argue, to fight for approval. Strong men let their actions and their presence speak for themselves. When you respond to disrespect with silence, you're telling her, and anyone watching, that her words are beneath your attention, and that is the ultimate display of self-respect. But silence isn't about being passive. It's an active choice, a deliberate strategy. For example, if a woman makes a cutting remark, resist the urge to fire back. Instead, pause. Hold her gaze for a moment, let the silence stretch, and then calmly shift the conversation or walk away. That moment of silence will echo louder in her mind than any comeback ever could. Think about the psychological impact. Silence forces the other person to sit with their words. It holds up a mirror, making them face the discomfort they tried to project onto you. Over time, they'll start to associate disrespect with that uncomfortable silence, and they'll think twice before doing it again. Here's another angle. Silence protects your dignity. When you choose not to engage in petty arguments or emotional reactions, you show that you value your peace over someone else's opinion. And that kind of self-control is rare. It sets you apart as a man of principle and discipline. Let me give you an example. Imagine a woman tries to provoke you by criticizing your ambition or mocking your goals. The weak man would defend himself, explain why she's wrong, or get visibly upset. But the man who understands the art of silence would simply smile faintly, hold her gaze for a second, and then turn his attention elsewhere. That's silent confidence. It's magnetic. It leaves her wondering, what does he know that I don't? If this principle resonates with you, take a moment to declare it. Drop a comment below with the phrase, "I own my silence." Let it remind you that your silence is not weakness, it's power. Now here's the key takeaway. Silence isn't about ignoring disrespect. It's about showing that you're above it. And when combined with indifference, it becomes an unstoppable force. Silence and indifference are powerful tools, but every man must know where to draw the line. Boundaries, clear, unshakable, and non-negotiable, are what separate a man who commands respect from a man who gets walked over. Without boundaries, you're like a fortress with no walls, open to every attack, every insult, every attempt to undermine you. The first thing to understand about boundaries is that they are not about controlling others. They're about controlling yourself, your actions, your reactions, and what you're willing to tolerate. A Stoic man doesn't demand respect. He inspires it by showing people exactly how he expects to be treated. So, how do you set boundaries effectively? Start with clarity. Know your non-negotiables. What behaviors cross the line for you? Maybe it's being spoken to in a condescending tone. Maybe it's constant interruptions, or maybe it's blatant disrespect in public. Whatever it is, identify it. Write it down if you have to. Because if you don't know your own boundaries, how can you expect anyone else to respect them? Next comes communication. And here's the secret. You don't have to be aggressive to enforce a boundary. In fact, the most powerful boundaries are set calmly and confidently. For example, if a woman interrupts you repeatedly, you don't snap or raise your voice. You pause, meet her eyes and say firmly, "I wasn't finished speaking. Please let me finish." Short, direct, unemotional. That's how you enforce a boundary without escalating the situation. But here's where most men struggle: maintaining boundaries. Setting them is one thing, but the real test comes when someone tries to push them, and they will push because that's human nature. The moment someone crosses your boundary, you have to respond. Not with anger, but with consistent action. If someone disrespects you after you've clearly set a boundary, you calmly let them know it's unacceptable. If it happens again, you walk away. No arguments, no second chances. This consistency is what makes boundaries work. Boundaries also have a psychological impact. When you enforce them, you send a powerful message: I respect myself enough not to tolerate this. And people notice. Women notice. A man with strong boundaries exudes confidence because he's not afraid to lose people who don't respect him. And that kind of strength? It's rare. It's magnetic. Let's get practical. Imagine you're dating a woman and she constantly interrupts you while you're talking. The weak man might laugh it off or let it slide, hoping she'll stop on her own. But the man with strong boundaries addresses it calmly. "I've noticed you interrupt me a lot. I'd appreciate it if you could let me finish my thoughts." If she respects you, she'll adjust. If she doesn't, you already know what to do. Now, let me ask you, how many times have you let people cross your boundaries because you were afraid of conflict? It's time to change that. I want you to drop a comment below with the phrase, "I protect my peace." Let that be your reminder that your boundaries are sacred, and enforcing them is an act of self-respect. Here's the thing: boundaries are not just about dealing with disrespect. They're about teaching others how to treat you. And once you master this, you'll find that disrespect becomes rare, because people will see that you're not a man to be trifled with. There's a moment in every man's life when the most powerful thing he can do is walk away. It's not an act of weakness or surrender. It's the ultimate expression of strength. When you walk away, you're saying, "I value myself too much to stay in a situation where I'm not respected." And that's a message no one can ignore. Walking away is the last line of defense when silence, indifference, and boundaries fail. It's the nuclear option, the final statement that says, "I'm done and you've lost access to me." But here's the key. Walking away isn't just about leaving a situation. It's about how you leave. A man who storms off in anger has already lost the battle. A man who walks away with calm confidence leaves on his own terms. Let's talk about why walking away is so effective. First, it creates scarcity. When you remove yourself from someone's life, you remind them that your time, attention, and presence are privileges, not guarantees. Most people take these things for granted until they're gone. And when you walk away, you force them to confront the reality of losing you. Second, walking away shifts the power dynamic. Disrespect often thrives in situations where one person feels they have control over the other. By walking away, you take back that control. You show that you're not dependent on anyone's validation or approval, and that level of self-sufficiency, it's rare and it's powerful. But let's be clear, walking away isn't about playing games or trying to manipulate someone into respecting you. It's about respecting yourself enough to leave when your standards aren't being met. For example, if you're in a relationship where a woman consistently disrespects you despite your efforts to address it, walking away isn't just an option, it's a necessity. Because staying in a situation where you're not valued erodes your self-respect, and no relationship is worth that price. Now, walking away isn't always easy. It requires courage, especially if you care about the person or the situation you're leaving behind. But here's the truth. Staying in a toxic situation out of fear or attachment only prolongs the pain. Walking away, on the other hand, frees you to focus on yourself, your growth, and your peace of mind. Here's an exercise to help you practice this mindset. The next time someone crosses a boundary or disrespects you in a way that feels irreparable, pause and ask yourself, am I staying because I value this relationship or because I'm afraid of leaving? If the answer is fear, you already know what you need to do. Let me share an example. Imagine you're dating someone who constantly belittles your goals, no matter how much you've communicated your boundaries. Instead of arguing or trying to change her, you calmly say, I don't think we're aligned, and I need to focus on myself right now. Then you walk away. No drama, no explanations, just a clear and confident exit. That's the kind of strength that leaves a lasting impression. Now, let's make this real. Drop a comment below with the phrase, I choose my peace. Let that be your affirmation that you're willing to walk away from anything or anyone that doesn't honor your value. And here's the most important thing to remember. Walking away is never the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter, one where you prioritize your self-respect and attract the kind of people and opportunities that align with your worth. But how do you ensure that you're walking away from disrespect without losing sight of who you are? By building your self-respect to such a level that disrespect doesn't even faze you. That's what we'll tackle in the next section, self-respect as your ultimate shield. Let's move forward. Self-respect is your greatest weapon, your ultimate shield, and the foundation of everything we've discussed so far. Without it, silence, indifference, boundaries, and even walking away lose their power. Why? Because if you don't respect yourself, how can you expect anyone else to? Respect begins and ends with you. Let's break this down. Self-respect isn't about arrogance or thinking you're better than others. It's about knowing your worth and refusing to compromise it no matter what. It's the quiet confidence that says, I don't need anyone's approval to feel whole. And when you carry yourself with that level of self-respect, people notice. Women notice. Because self-respect is magnetic, it sets you apart in a world where so many are desperate for validation. But here's the challenge. Self-respect requires effort. It's not something you're born with. It's something you build. And it starts with how you treat yourself. Are you keeping your promises to yourself? Are you prioritizing your growth, your health, and your goals? Or are you constantly putting others before you, hoping they'll validate you in return? A Stoic man knows that self-respect comes from within. Marcus Aurelius once said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." This is the trap most men fall into. They sacrifice their self-respect for the approval of others, only to find that it leads to resentment and regret. Let me give you a practical example. Imagine you're pursuing a big goal, starting a business, leveling up in your career, or working on your fitness. And along the way, a woman in your life belittles your efforts, calling them a waste of time. The man without self-respect would let her words sink in, doubting himself, and maybe even giving up. But the man with self-respect would smile, knowing that her opinion has no power over his mission. He wouldn't argue. He wouldn't explain. He would simply keep going, because his validation comes from his progress, not her approval. Here's the truth. The way you let others treat you is a direct reflection of how you treat yourself. If you're constantly putting yourself down, neglecting your goals, or settling for less than you deserve, people will mirror that energy back to you. But when you respect yourself, when you hold yourself to high standards, others will naturally follow suit. Now, let's make this actionable. Start by auditing your daily habits. Are you investing in your growth? Or are you wasting time on things that don't serve you? Are you surrounding yourself with people who uplift you? Or are you tolerating relationships that drain you? These questions might be uncomfortable, but they're necessary, because self-respect isn't built in a day. It's built in the small decisions you make every single day. And here's a challenge for you. For the next 30 days, commit to one habit that builds your self-respect. Maybe it's hitting the gym 3 times a week. Maybe it's reading a book instead of scrolling social media. Whatever it is, stick to it. Because every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, you're reinforcing your worth. If this resonates with you, declare it. Drop a comment below with the phrase, "I respect myself." Let that be your reminder that self-respect is the foundation of everything you're building. And here's the beauty of self-respect. It creates a ripple effect. The more you respect yourself, the less tolerance you'll have for disrespect. It won't even require effort. It will become second nature. Disrespect will roll off you like water off stone because you've built an unshakable sense of worth. There's a rare kind of freedom that comes when you master the art of detachment. It's the ability to live, act, and make decisions without being swayed by the opinions, actions, or validation of others. This is what the Stoics called ataraxia, a state of serene calmness, free from emotional disturbance. And when you embrace detachment, you become truly unstoppable. Let me ask you this: how much of your energy is spent worrying about what others think of you? How often do you hold back, second-guess yourself, or let fear of judgment dictate your actions? The truth is, most people live as prisoners of external opinions, chaining their self-worth to the approval of others. But here's the Stoic reality: the only opinions that matter are the ones you hold about yourself. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring about people or become cold and indifferent. It means you care deeply about your values, your growth, and your purpose, but you don't allow external noise to steer your ship. As Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." So, how do you practice detachment? First, you need to understand this key principle. Most of what happens around you is outside of your control. What a woman says about you, how others perceive you, or whether someone respects you, that's their business, not yours. Your business is how you choose to respond. When you internalize this, you free yourself from the constant need to chase approval. Here's a practical example. Imagine a woman you're dating suddenly becomes distant or starts playing games to test your emotions. The average man might react with panic, sending multiple texts, asking what's wrong, or trying to fix the situation. But the detached man recognizes that her actions are not within his control. Instead of reacting, he remains calm, focused on his own life, and lets her behavior speak for itself. He knows that his value isn't tied to her attention, and he's not afraid to walk away if necessary. Detachment also gives you clarity. When you're not emotionally invested in other people's opinions, you can see situations for what they truly are. You can make decisions based on logic and values, not on fear or insecurity. And this clarity, it's what allows you to stay grounded in moments of chaos or disrespect. Now, let's talk about the psychological effect of detachment. When you detach, you create a sense of mystery and independence that others find irresistibly attractive. Women, in particular, are drawn to men who don't need constant validation because it signals strength and self-sufficiency. Detachment says, "I'm here because I choose to be, not because I need to be." And that confidence? It's magnetic. Here's an exercise to practice detachment. The next time someone disrespects you or tries to test your emotions, pause and ask yourself, does this truly affect my purpose or my self-worth? If the answer is no, let it go. Don't argue, don't explain, simply move on with your life. The more you practice this, the more natural it will feel. If this principle resonates with you, take a moment to affirm it. Drop a comment below with the phrase, "I am free." Let that be your declaration that you're no longer tied to the opinions or actions of others. And here's the most important takeaway. Detachment doesn't mean giving up on people or relationships. It means giving up the need to control them. It means choosing to focus your energy on what you can control, yourself, your actions, and your growth. You've made it this far, and that already sets you apart. Most men never take the time to reflect, to grow, or to build themselves into something unshakable. But you've taken a step toward mastering yourself, and that is the foundation of true power. Let's bring everything together and close with a message that will stay with you. Think about what we've covered. You've learned the roots of disrespect, why it happens, and how it's often more about the other person than it is about you. You've mastered the power of indifference, using it to disarm disrespect and maintain your composure. You've embraced silence as a weapon, letting it amplify your strength without uttering a single word. You've learned how to set boundaries like a Stoic, showing others how to treat you while protecting your peace. You've unlocked the art of walking away, leaving situations that no longer serve you with dignity and power. You've built your self-respect into an unbreakable shield, and you've embraced the law of detachment, freeing yourself from the opinions and actions of others. When you combine all of these principles, you become untouchable. Not in the sense that disrespect won't happen, it will, but in the sense that it won't matter. You'll be a man who stands tall, unshaken, no matter what storms come your way. Now let me leave you with one final challenge. Take what you've learned today and apply it. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Whether it's at work, in your relationships, or even in your quiet moments of self-reflection, start practicing these principles. Start becoming the man who commands respect through his actions, not his words. But remember, this isn't a solo journey. Growth is always better when shared. So here's what I want you to do. Drop a comment below with the phrase, "I am unshakable." Let that be your declaration to the world and to yourself that you're done tolerating disrespect, that you're building a version of yourself that others will look up to, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. If this video resonated with you, do me a favor. Like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Let's spread this mindset far and wide. And if you're ready to take your growth even further, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Join this community of men who are reclaiming their power, one principle at a time. You've just taken a major step forward. The man you were yesterday is already behind you, and the man you're becoming is waiting ahead. Keep walking, keep growing, and remember, your respect doesn't come from others, it comes from within. This is Stoic Blessing, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay strong, stay calm, and stay unshakable.